Today on the Matt and Ann Show, we welcome Eagles legend Chad Lewis. Welcome to the show, Chad.
What's up? Thanks so much for having me on, guys. This is fun.
No problem at all.
Love your jersey. Love your beard. Love everything about it. Let's go.
Thank you so much. I understand you work at BYU.
Yeah, I'm here right now. So
obviously, Zach Wilson just got drafted by the Jets. How do you think that's going to work for the Jets, and do you think he's going to have a good career there?
I do. He's an extremely talented player. I've not seen a player study more tape than him. He's a complete gym rat. Like, if you're a coach trying to get someone to take over your franchise, you want someone that's OCD enough to be in his playbook all day, all night. That's him. He lives in his playbook. He's extremely strong in the weight room. He's a tough kid, so he's not going to back down from a fight. He looks like he's about 15 years old because he's got that beautiful baby face, but he's a tough competitor. He's got an amazing arm. I would compare his arm to Mahomes. He can make any throw. It's really strong. He's a gamer. He loves to play. He loves to compete. And I think New York made a good selection in getting Zach. He's going to be nice.
Good to hear.
You had great moment in your career. Can you just name maybe a couple that stand out to you?
Yeah, one of my favorite moments of my career was when we played Atlanta in the NFC Championship game. Now, we've been to 4 straight NFC Championships. We lost to the Rams, the Buccaneers, and the Panthers. I was about ready to kill somebody. Finally got to play against the Falcons. It was at home. It snowed a foot the night before the game, and it was our time, and that was our team, and we beat the Falcons to go to the Super Bowl. That was the greatest moment of my career right there. Catching a couple touchdowns to help our team go to the Super Bowl. I will never forget. I mean, those moments were just. I can close my eyes. I can still feel
them. What's your thoughts on the Zach Ertz situation right now with the Eagles? You think he's going to stay with the Eagles, or you think he's going to go somewhere else?
I think so, because I'm out here and I haven't followed it as closely. I just think he's such an amazing talent. He had a couple of years there where he was heavily utilized, and that's what he wants. He's like, throw me the rock. I can get first downs and touchdowns. And Dallas Goedert is another tight end who's big, fast, strong, unbelievable playmaking. So both those guys, I think for a 1-2 punch, that's what I want as a tight end. I want a tandem. I want a 1-2 punch that can wreak havoc, and that's what those guys can do. So I'm not sure about Zach, what he's going to do. What are your thoughts? Please tell me.
I think he's going to stay. I originally thought he was out. I thought there was no chance he was going to stay because of all the speculation, but I feel like it's one of those moments where, it was a bad situation. It looked like he was out. They got past it. I think he's going to be an Eagle for the rest of his career at this point.
I love it. That's cool. Yeah, he's a great player. He great hands. I mean, his catch in the Super Bowl was just phenomenal. And the fact that they reviewed that thing for so long, I was in the box. I was going to go down on the field to smack someone. I'm like, that's a touchdown.
That was like the first play that they changed that rule of the rolling of the ball in the hands at that point.
Yeah.
That whole season, I think there was like 4 missed calls on that play.
I know. I wonder if any of the refs have ever played football in their lives. I'm like, I think the game just goes a little too fast for you guys.
I almost took a heart attack that night from that. So, like, they would have had to pay for my medical bill. So I took a heart attack.
That was sweet. I was so pumped to be there. I was so pumped to see it happen. I was pumped for, Doug Peterson,
greatest
Daly, everyone. Yeah, that was cool.
With the whole pandemic going on, can you imagine yourself playing in a pandemic right now?
Sorry, I missed that.
Could you imagine yourself playing in the pandemic right now?
Yeah, I just think, the pandemic is weird. It's certainly the case that it's a virus that's affected the entire planet. And I've had close friends from me pass away from COVID. I've seen a whole bunch of other crap from COVID. I'm ready for this virus to get out of here. The numbers show that we've completely passed the massive curve. And now so many people have either had it or vaccinated that I'm not worried about it at all. I think it's, past time for us to get rolling, to get back into everything, open up schools, work, let's roll. We're America, let's move. And playing, I think it would be cool to play because, as athletes, one of the things we offer the world is a diversion from all the crap. And I think during this pandemic, it was so cool to see people play, make the choice to play and to get out there and to do, perform and, give people an opportunity to laugh, smile, cheer. And that's one of the great values of sports. We're a great bridge builder. We're not politics, we're sports. Let's play, let's rip it, let's have fun, let's give people something to cheer about. And I think that's the beauty of sports.
Do you have a favorite tight end in the game right now that you always make a point of watching?
Yes, it's Matt Bushman. He's a BYU tight end. He just got picked up by the Raiders, and so he's my favorite player. I believe he's got some of the best hands in the game. People are going to realize that pretty quick. He was not drafted. He went as a free agent, similar to me. I'm excited for him to make that team, to make plays. But it's been really cool for me to watch Zach and Dallas, those two guys in that city that's, traditionally had great tight ends, to see them making plays and for Zach to help the Eagles win a Super Bowl. I mean, that's really nice. So I love watching those guys. I love what they can do. And I love it when they're utilized. So I want to see Jalen Hurts throwing a lot of balls their way this year.
Is there a player right now that reminds you of yourself?
Yeah, and it's going to be Matt Bushman, just coming out of BYU. And I know you guys haven't seen him play yet, but I think I enjoyed talking to Zach Ertz several years ago. It was right before he blew up, and I was in the facility. And there were some people giving him a hard time because he had dropped a couple passes. And I remember just saying, bro, I watched you on tape. You're a phenomenal talent. Just go out there and rip it. And it was really cool just to see him take that next step and keep going and just become like a major threat. Kelsey's been a lot of fun to watch from the Chiefs. He's a big body. He runs great routes. He's done a nice job for their team. Gronkowski's been a beast at Tampa Bay and New England forever. Great playmakers. I love the tight end game, so I love watching good tight ends make plays. Good question.
Tight end position has blown up in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's cool to see that. I love it. I love seeing, it'd be the first read and come back and be the third and fourth read. And, quarterbacks depend on those guys. It's a simple throw for a quarterback. It's close. There's typically mismatches with body size, and it's a cool position. You got to do everything.
What were your best memories playing with Donovan McNabb, and thoughts on why he's not in the Hall of Fame? Because I feel like during his run with the Eagles, he was a top 5 quarterback. Only Manning, Brady, who are both going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah, he's got the numbers to be in the Hall of Fame, and Hall of Fames are about numbers. It's not just about championships. People say, well, as a quarterback, he should have won championships. Well, that's a team thing. Like, yeah, we all should have won the championship. We wanted to. It was a killer not to. But how many people are in the Hall of Fame that haven't won a championship? A lot. Yeah. Because it's not just a championship thing. And I think that's put on quarterbacks a little too heavy. And his numbers, what he did coming into the city, taking over that team that was really down when he got there. He was a second pick overall, and instantly he helped transform that team in that city. And so, yeah, I definitely want to see him in the Hall of Fame. Some of my favorite memories with him, they're both on the field and off the field. On the field, he was hilarious. Like, he would look at John Lynch when he was getting ready to blitz with Tampa Bay, and he'd look at him right in his cadence. He'd be like, "I see you, John. I know you're gonna blitz. Ha ha." Well, like, and we're all in our stance, just cracking up because he played the game like a little kid. Like he had so much joy out there, and talking with the guys and the camaraderie, and the game was not bigger than him. Like he's a big personality, and he just filled up the arenas wherever he went. It was never crushed him, and I love that about him. And then off the field, like in our team meeting rooms, he was hilarious. So he could mimic both of you guys, I guarantee it. And, but he would be up in front of our team, and before Andy Reid walked in, and he'd be mimicking Andy Reid, talking like him, mannerisms like him. And then Andy would walk in the room, and the whole team would be cracking up. And then we'd look at Andy, and Andy would look at Donovan like, "What are you doing?" And Andy knew what he was doing, and he let him do it because he knew that was one of Donovan's gifts, to have fun, to be funny, to keep the guys loose. And he was like a relentless worker, one of the strongest guys on our team in the weight room. Pushed himself all off season. He loved being around the guys. He was typically the last one out of the facility every day. I mean, he stayed there and worked with the coaches and studied, and then he brought his gifts to the table. Like he was so strong and elusive in the pocket. Very, very tough to bring him down. And just watching clips of him, it just reminds me like what a special talent he was.
Absolutely.
I know it's so early in football, haven't thought yet. But do you have a pick on who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Do I have what? A Super Bowl ring?
A Super Bowl pick.
Super Bowl pick this year? Since my son-in-law just got picked up by the Raiders, I'm going to have to say the Raiders and the Eagles, baby. Let's go.
You were just talking about Andy Reid. Where would you rank his success with the Chiefs? And he already had success with the Eagles. Where would you rank him all time among greatest coaches? Because he was your coach, I think, for 5-6 years.
Yeah, I was with him for 7 years. I'd say he's number one, and I'd say he's number one for this reason. He went into Philadelphia when Philadelphia was down. And, second pick in the draft, he got Donovan, he had Brian Dawkins, Troy Vincent, put together a cornerstone, got John Runyon, Trey Thomas, and our defense was legit. And, you got Trotter. I mean, our whole team was really talented. But he was able to put together something in Philly that became a consistent winner. That's really hard to do in the NFL. And then when he went to the Chiefs, if you remember, the Chiefs had gone coach after coach, problem after problem. They were down.
Yeah, after Dick Vermeil, they had about 4 or 5 coaches up.
Yeah. So enter Andy Reid, and he gets with Alex Smith and now Mahomes, and he's put together a program that's consistently winning. Again, that's hard to do. He's been able to win a championship, and what he's done and how he's done it is remarkable. And the way that he treats people, I mean, when he won the Super Bowl, we were all cheering for him, everyone. And that's a testament to how he treats people. And he really loves people. He loves the game. He respects the game. He works really, really hard. He knows when to be funny and crack a joke. He knows when to just crack you right on the back of the head and ship you into shape. He's really kind of, as a coach, he's a man for all seasons. He can do it. He can handle a lot of different things.
We just talk about Andy Reid, but yeah, help. Do you ever see help being a coach or anything like that?
That's a good question, because when I was in Philly, I would look at my coaches, and a lot of times they were sleeping at the facility, and I'm like, you got to go to bed, man. You got to go home. Even my rookie year, like John Gruden was there every morning at like 3:30 or 4 in the morning, and Juan Castillo would be there at 3:30, 4 in the morning, and stay there till 11, 12 at night. And I just, at that time as a player, said, there's no way I can ever coach. because I love my wife and my kids. I want to go to their ball games, and I want to see them, grow up. And it's a real high price to be a coach. You sacrifice quite a bit. And so there has been 2 different times since I finished playing that I took a good look at coaching, and they were both here at BYU. And both times it just came back to, I would love to coach, especially game day. But I also know what goes into coaching. And I feel like, I was in the NFL for 9 years, and that was like a major commitment. And now I need to give a major commitment to my family too. And so the job I have at BYU, I love it because it allows me to be here, to be around the coaches and the athletes, go to the games, to be a part of it, but also to have a family and to raise my kids. And I have 7 kids. That's like a petting zoo. I mean, there's more kids in my house than you can shake a stick at. So they need me. They need my time.
You say you have 7 kids. Are any of them doing football or basketball, anything like that?
Yeah, I have 2 girls and then 5 boys. And my oldest girl, she played volleyball in high school, then here at BYU. And they went and played in the national championship game against Stanford. She's a good player. And then my second daughter, she's a reader and she studies. She's like, I don't want to play sports. And then I have a son who's serving as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Fresno. And he played as a soccer goalkeeper in high school. And he's got nice hands. Like, he would catch those soccer balls, and it reminded me of, catching balls. I'm like, he's got nice hands. And he's 6'7" and about 170 pounds, so tall and skinny. And then I have a junior in high school that's 6'6", 270. He loves football. He's a giant. He might play for the Eagles one day. And then I have a 9th grader, Max, who really likes golf and basketball. And then my cabooses, I have twin boys who they love everything. They're going to play tackle football this year, first time. Hopefully they'll be twin tight ends, bookend. Flip it over on defense. It'll be defensive ends, rushing pass. So and they love to play basketball and golf as well. So my family, a lot of sports. We watch sports. We follow everything. We celebrate it. We certainly follow the Eagles, every week. It's really fun. So my kids love it.
On the topic of the Eagles, my final question is, what are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts?
He's a beast. He's proved everywhere he goes that not only is he a talented player and a talented athlete, but he's an incredible leader. He motivates people. And when he was with Alabama and Oklahoma, you saw people rally around him. That's one of the great gifts of a great player, is not just to be a player, but to be a leader. And I feel like Jalen is so phenomenally talented. Like, he plays, to me, he's so talented. He plays at like 90% of his capacity. And then when he needs to like shift into 5th gear and rip it, he's got this extra gear, and all of a sudden you see him either run faster or I just think with his talent level and his leadership level, how hungry he is. Now you throw in just, Heisman Trophy winning former teammate of his to be out on the, as a wide receiver. I think he's going to be ripping it. I really like Jalen. I can't wait to meet him. I think he's got this cool combination of he's confident, he's humble, he totally appreciates his opportunity there in Philly to rip it. And in Philly, if you don't celebrate the opportunity to be a Philadelphia Eagle, it doesn't work. You have to embrace it, love it, breathe it, taste it. And if you do that, the fans respond to you in kind. And I think that's Jalen Hurts.
I just have one more question. It could be now or in your time. What is your top 10 favorite player?
All time? That's a really good question. Like, think about the people who have played football, like from way back until now. Like, each position, like defense, offense, quarterback, receiver, tight end, there's like, it's the greatest game in the world. So you're asking like one of the most complicated questions ever. I mean, I love quarterback play. When a quarterback can take over a game, I loved playing with my quarterback. So at Philly, I had Ty Detmer and Rodney Peete, and Bobby Hoyne, Coy Detmer. And then I went to the Rams and I had Kurt Warner and Trent Green. I came back to the Eagles and I had Donovan McNabb. So I look at those guys that I was able to play with. Those are my favorite guys, my favorite players. Those are my quarterbacks. Yeah. I mean, I could talk about Steve Young and I could talk about Tom Brady, but I'd rather talk about Donovan, Ty Detmer, Rodney Peete, those guys who were throwing me balls and I got to go to war with. Those are my favorite. Awesome. And then on the other side of the ball, I mean, Brian Dawkins, Troy Vincent, Bobby Taylor, Jeremiah Trotter, those dudes were warriors. I consider myself so fortunate that I got to go to practice with them every day, both in the meeting room, on the practice field. I got to travel with them. I got to take the field and win games with them. That's one of the most special things of being a player is you're on a team, and those guys are your brothers, and you become a family, and that's really special.
Absolutely. Well, me and Ant want to thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
You're one of my favorite Eagles of all time. You're
That's so cool.
Player growing up, and it's a complete honor to get the interview today. I want to thank you for coming on. Chad Lewis, everyone.
Yeah. It's my honor. Thanks, you guys. So fun, Matt and Ant. Love it.
Thank you.